think I'm normally excited to do videos, but this one in particular, I don't do a lot of clan tournament videos anymore. Not for any specific reason. I just don't anymore. I feel like the ones that I have done, they are good enough and they can just exist there. It's also like a mode where most of the time, like I want to say 90% of the time, you just play your best deck and win. That's what it is. It's just play your best deck and win. One of the funniest things, if you don't already know, is when it's the curse one. And I used to love playing Blooming Dash Blade Dancer, obviously, because then you can just keep pinballing the curse. And one of the best strategies for that one is a Dark Inquisitor player just accepting both of them and playing the best deck. That's kind of like what my general thoughts on clan tournament, which is why I stopped making videos. But this one in particular, like, I was very excited for, because this is the only time that I ever get to play Blooming Dash Blade Dancer without Portal Keeper, and it's so fun. So I'm going to show you both games, because I won both games, and I didn't think I was going to win either game, because Blooming Dash Blade Dancer, who plays that? And this is against a Max Meteor deck. This is also to showcase Max Meteor. That Meteor just don't care about any boss until he does, and he dies. But it's such a funny deck, because he just doesn't care about any boss. He's just like, I will accept every boss that comes my way and just keep trucking along. So if you hate bosses, if you hate, oh, that darn Bedlam messed up my board and I died, you play Dark Inquisitor, oh, that Monkey King stunned my Dark Inquisitor, oh, that Warlock killed my Crystalmancer. If you find yourself saying this way too much, like just hating every boss, just play a Meteor deck. Meteor decks just go on forever and don't care about any boss. Every boss just kind of helps them until it doesn't, and then they die. But the way that I will explain this deck and why it's good and why it works specifically in this format. So this is the Brownian motion, where they move each of the units for you. It's random, obviously, so I have no control over how many stacks I get, which is technically the problem. But the idea that Blade Dancer gets stacks from Blooming Dash by moving is good enough on its own, and then you can run the regular suit of damage modifiers. You have your Scrapper doing Recycler and the Acrid Waste. You have the Chemist. You have the Trapper. You have the Sharpened Spear. The note on the Sharpened Spear is I only run one Sharpened Spear Knight statue on the field at any given time. I've tried running two, but the problem is, since you have no control over the movement, you could have two non-active Knight statues for far too long in this game and then just die. I only run one Chemist, and my usual goal is two Trappers. I think it's two Trappers. I don't think you need anything beyond that, and then everything else is Blade Dancer or spots for my Scrapper. Also, note, I'm actually running Successful Shift as opposed to the Combine one. I wanted to try it out. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit difficult, but as long as you have a level 2 Scrapper, it's reasonably fine. All you have to do is just get to level, or never allow your board, anything that you don't want, to go above a level 2. And then you should be fine. So I'm basically combining out level 1s. If it becomes a Scrapper that's a level 2, you just level one of them down, and then you still have your main level 2 Scrapper. And then you can just keep going. You don't really need the combined one. And I feel like the extra, every so often, because that's the benefit of doing the other one. It has a 15% chance of increasing a random unit out of order. So it doesn't always just hit on the 4th hit. You can get one on the 2nd hit and get one on the 4th hit. And it's I don't know. I'm just trying it out, and I think it's pretty good. This guy gets incredibly unlucky, which is the other reason why I also wanted to do this video. He manages to get... So, one of the main reasons why you're running the Meteor deck is not only just the percentage damage, but the Apocalypse ability. So you have a 20% chance you have a 10% chance of causing a meteorite to reduce the merge rank of a random enemy unit by 3. So it doesn't so it used to straight up kill the unit, but it reduces it by 3. And I can't remember if it goes through Mermaid Bubble, but I get hit with it like 3 times, and every single time it's a unit that I don't care about, and he just gets super unlucky with it. And this is... You should also note that this is also me playing a deck that's not a Shaman deck, so my levels go crazy in this match, because he has no way of... Well, I mean, he does have a way of ranking down my units, but like I said, whenever he does get the Apocalypse ability, he just keeps hitting things that I don't care about. I think I get to like a level 5 Trapper or something, and he hits it, and then I have like a level 2 Trapper, and I'm like, alright. He hits like a, I think he hits a Scrapper, like a level 1 extra Scrapper that I have. So right here, in this board position, I have 3 Scrappers that are level 1 and 1 that's level 2. That's basically what you always want to be in. I can now combine out Scrappers. I'm pretty sure I'm just waiting for one of them to go onto a growth tile so I can grow up my growth tiles. And then I can combine the 2 Scrappers, and then if it becomes a Scrapper, I can level 1 down, and then if it becomes anything else, I can just eat it. It's actually a lot easier to do than you might think. There we go, see? And then the other thing to note, if you are going to play this deck, whenever you do Scrapper after, the things switch, so that the board is static for a little bit, and then anything that's on the board will hit that exact thing. I've had, when I first started playing, this deck, a long time ago, I was Scrappering, and it would, like, move a Scrapper in that place, and then I would get, like, 2 level 2s, and that, you don't want to be in that position. It's pretty bad. Because it does have the ability to level up a Scrapper if it moves to that spot. Or, you know, you just get unwanted level ups. Like, maybe you have, like, a level 3 and a level 2 Chemist on the field, and you didn't eat it. You didn't eat the level 2 yet, and then it moves it into that place, and now you have 2 level 3s, and now you have to get a level 3 Scrapper. It has the ability to do, like, wacky things. So, whenever you do Scrapper, just wait for that the movement to happen, and then Scrapper, and then it'll hit something that is that is just sitting on the field. You won't accidentally merge up other things. I think this is where he dies. Maybe. No, I think he kills it. Yeah, he kills this one. I was to say, I think this is where he dies. It just gets to a point where he doesn't have the ability to deal enough damage. I don't know what else I would run. I think the Frost is a meaningless unit in this deck. I think he should be oh wait, no, it's not. It's because he's using oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. So, first off, he doesn't have a max Frost, and like I've said in a lot of videos, if you don't have a max Frost, you are doing significantly less with your Frost. I thought that he was using Frost for the reason why this deck even runs Portal Keeper, Portal Mage. For the reason why this deck even runs Portal Mage. So, Portal Mage has a talent that is... Is it Empowering? Maybe he's just playing a bad version of this deck. I'm pretty sure he's just playing a bad version of this deck, and that's why he lost. Maybe I shouldn't be so amazed that I won this. I didn't even know what his talents were. He obviously has like a very low level summoner as well, so he's not getting benefits out of his summoner. He has a level 9 Harley Quinn, which means that without the max level, you could get into spots where you have really awkward high level Harley Quinns, and you can't merge them back down. That's the biggest benefit for Harley Quinn in decks like this. It's the idea that at max, you can have like a level 5 Harley Quinn and copy a level 1, and now you have a level 1 unit again on the field, and reset. I'm going to go through his deck and show you what his deck meant to do, and I think he just copied a deck, and this is exactly why you can't just copy a deck and think that your version of that deck is the same. And you have to figure out different alternatives for not having that thing. Okay, so with Frost, the reason why he was running what he was running, or the reason why you run Frost, it's the Ice Shield. So with the Ice Shield, whenever you merge Frost with a Mark of Ice, it protects the opponent's monsters for 40% of its damage for 40 seconds. So essentially, when so the monsters on my field that are happening have a 40% reduction in damage, and so when you combine that with the Portal Mage, I'm pretty sure with Empowering, no. Is it Vulnerability? Yeah. When you combine that with Vulnerability, and teleported monsters take 20% more critical damage, critical damage will be 20% less for warp monsters on the opponent's side. That's the reason why they run this. They're running it for the Vulnerability, and then when you combine that with the Ice Shield. So not only are they getting 40% more armor, but you're also doing 20% less damage, or whatever those numbers were. Yeah, 20% less critical damage, and it's just when the game progresses, that starts it starts to stack, and then Summoner, when you have like Wrath of the Ancients, you could theoretically combine Wrath of the Ancients with the if you wanted to go the opposite way, you could combine that with the Ice Walk ability, because you could take out Portal Mage and then put in Minotaur, and then you have 2 damage dealers that do percentage damage, which is also better. And then obviously a Max Harley Quinn would make this infinitely better because of the copy and paste ability. Maybe I shouldn't be amazed that I won that one. But yeah, like that's the difference of a max version of that deck using the same cards and a lesser version of that deck that just doesn't work. I get shamaned a lot. This opening was hilarious. I almost wanted to clip it out. So nothing. And then I just stopped summoning in. Nothing. I was just like, is he gonna do it again? He is gonna do it again. Come on. And nothing. And nothing. I definitely gave him the goblin on the minecart. Whee! That was my only emote for the whole game. But that was hilarious. I wanted to clip that out. And then that was my moment for being like, you know what? I kind of want to showcase this game too. I was like, maybe I'll just do a double gameplay video. But I get shamaned obviously a lot in this game. Because at a certain point, I'm just like, I have to summon in. I have to start playing this game. And so my levels on this game don't get very high, and Robot doesn't do a lot of damage, which is why I don't like Robot. Robot, no matter how many merges you have, it doesn't do a lot. A max Robot, that's why I've had like a level 13 Robot forever. Like, I just haven't cared to level it up because it just doesn't do the damage that you would think that it should do. And like being a toxic unit, it does work if you can toxic the person out of the game. But if you can't, Like, you're not lasting very long. Sea Dog has better damage, and it does better toxic things. And Sea Dog has been nerfed multiple times. Sea Dog was the best overpowered toxic card. And then when they started shying away from toxic, they started they made Sea Dog just worse and worse and worse. They just like gutted all of its talents. And just started like progressively making it worse and worse and worse. And it's still the best, and it's still better than Robot. The stun ability on Robot, I mean, like, if you have, like, not a lot of units in the very beginning of the game, yes, it can be terrible, but, like, if you watch this game, every single time I'm getting stunned, I don't care. Unless you can destroy my units, I don't care that they're getting stunned for 2 seconds or whatever it is. The stuns are mainly to get rid of Mermaid, if the opponent has Mermaid. And so it's mostly to get rid of, like, Mermaid bubbles so that you can Shaman them. It's also, like, the robot deck, the inherent problem with the Robot deck is also, do I build robot stacks, or do I try to Shaman them? Because you can't do both. It's very difficult to try to do both. Like, you have to build the robot stacks in order to survive, because robot is not just inherently good on its own. Like, in the first round, you need to get to, like, 5 robots, 5 robot merges, in order to even just defeat the first, like, boss. And then, like, when you get into, like, mid-game, you need to get to 20. And you also need to try to Shaman them out of the game, and and then if you can't Shaman them out of the game, you're not running other supports. You're not running a Trapper or a Chemist or a Night Statue or a Witch. And so you're trying to do it with just robot power. And it doesn't matter if you get to 80 merges, you're not doing as much damage as somebody else who is running a full suite of Trapper, Night Statue, Scrapper, Chemist, Witch, you know, like Sharpshooter. You're not going to compete with that amount of damage. And there's not really a way to build that deck any better either. Like, what he's doing is probably the best version of that deck. Like, obviously, a Max Harlequin. He has Wrath of the Ancestors and Curse of the Spirit, which are both the toxic summoner talents that you would need. Short of Shaman getting talents, there's no way to make the deck better. Or Mime getting talents. This deck is just so fun. Like, this Blooming Dash, like, the specific reason why this deck works, is because you don't need, not needing a Portal Keeper to move all of your cards, allows you to use Scrapper, and just Scrapper is just so good. It's just so overtly good, and I feel like if they gave Portal Keeper talents, mainly the Santa talent. That's all I want, man. That's all I want in this game. I just want the Santa talent. If you don't know what the Santa talent is, during the Christmas event, one of the modifiers was Portal Keeper Santa, and he had the ability to move anything of his rank or lower. And so I was able, you can go back to the Halloween event, and I definitely made a lot of videos, or a video of a lot of battles, with the Santa talent, and it was the funnest thing. And I was still losing, but I was doing just so much more damage because I was able to use Scrapper. The problem with the Blooming Dash Blade Dancer deck in general, though, is the simple fact that you have to use Portal Keeper. Having to use Portal Keeper, even if you're able to use Scrapper and Night Statue and Portal Keeper and Blade Dancer, only allows you one other spot. And if Portal Keeper isn't giving you any damage modifiers without talents, the Scrapper and the Night Statue are, but then you're minusing one other spot. So you can use one Trapper or a Witch or a Chemist or a Sharpshooter, and you can only use one, whereas other decks are using two because they're not using Portal Keeper. And that's the most inherent problem of the Blooming Ash Blade Dancer deck. But if they gave Portal Keeper like reasonably good talents, if the max talent was the Santa talent, and then it got other, I don't know, something, it could become meta again. And by meta, I mean kind of okay, like a B level deck. it might become a B level deck again. As it stands right now, just use Floral Frenzy. Unless it's this modifier, then use this, and still don't use Portal Keeper. And in the case that you were gonna say just use Flicker, my problem with Flicker is that I like Portal Keeper because you can save things. What's funny is they nerfed Portal Keeper, which is such a weird thing to nerf, but it was because it was at a time when Dark Inquisitor was ruling the world, and people were doing Dark Inquisitor with a Portal Keeper, and just getting a level 7 Portal Keeper and a level 7 Dark Inquisitor, and Portal Keeper used to give itself a shield, and then it would give the thing that it moved a shield, so you could basically survive every boss. You just kept moving it over and over. I think that was also the reason why they had to reduce the cooldown. And by reduce the cooldown, I mean add more cooldown. Because it used to, the recovery on it used to be like 2 seconds. It used to be silly. And people were just like moving it with a Dark Inquisitor, using it to move a Dark Inquisitor, so that it could basically survive literally everything forever. This thing is just such a fun deck to play. I miss this deck. I miss running like Blooming Ash Blade Dancer. I was like so excited when this was the modifier. I didn't think I was gonna win either game. But yeah, this is where we're at double bosses and Max Robot is already dropping off. He has 45 stacks on a Max Robot, and he drops off at double bosses. Level 20 Snowflake, Max Legendary, or Legendary gear. I miss the days of Blooming Ash Blade Dancer. He has 4755 crit. This couldn't be closer. Like, that's how bad Robot is, by the way. That's your damage cap for Max Robot. like if you can't kill like the person before double bosses, you just die.